In one of my recent podcasts, I talked about the value and the benefit of making sure that you have all of your investment accounts set up properly before you retire. So if you're a business owner and you go out and sell out of your business and you retire, eventually you're going to have to recreate your paycheck. And the way that you do that tax effectively is making sure that you've got different pools of capital that you can draw from when you are retired. And so you need to make sure that you set that up well in advance so that you can draw from these pools down the road. So I'm going to share a story with you on a client that we were introduced to recently and how that just didn't work out for them very well. This individual, they were a business owner. They sold out of their business. They were looking at recreating their paycheck now that they were retired. And so their investment pools consisted of, they had Canada Pension Plan, Old Age Security. They did have some money inside a non-reg investment account from the sale of their business. They had a bunch of RRSPs and holdco investments. And the problem with their planning was that most of their money, they had a huge amount of money inside their RRSPs for both him and his spouse, and only a very small amount inside the holding corp. And now, luckily, now that they sold, they do have money inside the non-reg account as well. But the problem that they're going to find themselves in down the road is that at the age of 71, they must take that RRSP money and move it into a retirement income fund. And that at the age of 72, they must now start to draw a minimum out of that retirement income fund every year that's based upon their age and the value of the account. And since him and his wife have substantial amount invested into the RSPs, they're going to have a substantial minimum that they must take out. And that will cause a problem for them. When we ran all the numbers and the projections for them and created a plan, what we found was that they're going to be paying far more tax than what they really should have. Rather than investing all that money into RRSPs, I would have highly recommended that they move that money into their holdco, because the advantage of investing inside the holdco is you can move the after-tax corporate profits from the operating company to the holdco and invest it there. But down the road, when you ultimately retire, you have flexibility on how you can take that money out. There is no minimum, unlike RSPs. Now, I'm not saying RSPs are a bad tool. I think RSPs are, in fact, a great tool to invest. To a certain extent, though, you definitely don't want to be investing all of your funds within your RSPs at all. A holdco, in my opinion, is a much better strategy. And I see it time and time again when we run the projections for the clients. So I think the important part of this story here is that making sure that you're proactive with your planning, that you're working with an advisory team that will set you up for success down the road when you ultimately retire is very, very important. We find far too often people focus on investment returns, thinking that their advisor is doing a great job because the investment returns are, large or growing or whatever. And yeah, investment returns are important, but planning is also important. So if you're wondering if we can help you, or you're wondering a little bit about what we do, check us out, 360wealth.ca. If you want to know what proactive planning looks like, we encourage you to visit 360wealth.ca/planning. There you'll find a self-assessment tool. There's 20 questions that you can go through. It'll give you a very good idea as to what proactive planning looks like. And, I think that you'll get a lot of value from going and checking that out. So I hope that you found this to be helpful. Thanks.